Blessings, relatives. I'm here at the PowWow, and I'm with my new friend here, Ed Chandler. And he is a member of the AIM chapter of Wounded Knee. And
well, we don't call it Wounded Knee; we call it the Black Hills.
The Black Hills. Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about the books that you've written and the ones that are for sale.
I've had one book written about me in 1980 that was about a little Indian boy being raised in a white society and how it felt and how I survived it. And then the newest book written about me and other elders is about our walk through life and what we have to pass on to the younger generation. And the book is written by Paul Samuels from Connecticut, and it's on Amazon. I signed away my rights to the book. I just want people to know my story and how tough it was.
People.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's called Before the Sun Sets and They're All Gone. And it's about maybe 25 elders in the book. They're not all native. Some of them were white people, but it's just how they grew up in America and how they learned from life and what they've learned and what they want to pass on.
Now, I'm sure a lot of people don't understand fully about the impoverishment which has occurred on the Pine Ridge Reservation, Wounded Knee.
They are, at best, they are totally dependent on the government for the government subsidized food and housing that they get from the government. The housing they get 4-room shacks that are uninsulated, no electricity, no running water, and the food they get causes diabetes and premature death. They do not give us Indians blankets with smallpox anymore to kill us. They literally, if you will, kill us to death with food.
It's a food desert down there, so there's food, but there's nothing with nourishment.
You can't grow food in a rocky environment. Pretty much, and anything that's arable on Pine Ridge Indian Reservation is leased to white farmers for pennies on the dollar. They don't control it anymore, and it's kind of sad. That's why the American Indian charity One Spirit is totally focused on Pine Ridge and dedicated to making the tribe self-sufficient to get away from the government subsidized. We've built a home for families where the women they're called safe homes.
Yeah.
And women and children can go there because the Lakota Oglala men are abusive when they drink. So the families can go and be safe. They're guarded there. We protect them. And we're also building a meat processing plant where they can process their own buffalo meat and provide meat to their tribal members for free. Okay? So, and not only that, we've sent 2 men to Chicago to learn how to become butchers and how to do buffalo. So they're going to be self-sufficient with meat concern. We've also built 3 food distribution centers on Pine Ridge.
Yes.
We distribute food once a month to families that are in need, and we still have a waiting list that we can't support because we feed 2,000 families a month.
2,000?
Yes. We add nutritious meat, nutritious fresh vegetables, and nutritious fruit that they don't get from the government. What they get from the government is processed foods loaded with steroids, hormones, and stuff that kills them. Additives that you don't want in your body.
You hear that, relatives? Yeah.
One time I said to my adopted uncle out in Pine Ridge, I said, "Henry, what the hell are you doing?" He says, "I'm opening up a 5-pound can of Spam. That's half my monthly meat allotment from the government." I looked over and this 5-pound can of Spam was packaged in 1942 for the troops in the Second World War in Europe.
1942.
Government subsidized food for the Indians with two 5-pound cans of Spam, which is 60% fat, for the troops. It was packed for the troops in Europe for the Second World War. Government supplemental food that killed them. How would you survive with a 60% diet of fat? They don't have gardens out there. It's not really an arable land where you can grow. It's rock. That's why they call it the Black Hills.
Now, when I was down there at Pine Ridge, I went past a building. It was huge, like a hospital, and it was strictly for diabetes. Strictly for people with diabetes.
It's run by the government, and they get very poor medical service. It's free, but they get very poor medical service.
It's unbelievable that the rate of diabetes is so high.
But that's how the government wanted it, because diabetes causes premature death. So like I said, they don't give us blankets with smallpox anymore to eradicate us. They literally feed us to death. Now, I'm Mohawk from Canada, okay? But I affiliate with what they have gone through. But my tribe has been assimilated into the white world for 500 years.
Yeah.
120 years ago, the Lakota were at war with the white people. Right. Okay? So they're still struggling mentally and physically to be in an environment where they're not welcome.
Yes.
Okay? It's a sad, sad fact. It's all over the internet if you want to learn about it, but most people say, oh no, it doesn't affect me, I don't care.
Right.
Okay? I'm constantly telling people, look up One Spirit on the internet. It's a 501c3, not-for-profit corporation, and not one person involved with One Spirit takes a salary, not one penny.
Yes.
Every cent that we generate goes to do something progressive for the tribe, the Oglala.
You guys hear that? How can people get involved?
As soon as they go to the One Spirit website, they'll see all different means. They may have stuff at home, pots and pans, that they don't have any use for anymore. They desperately need anything that you can think of. There's also lists, they're called the Okini list on the One Spirit website, where they tell you what they need as a family. You have to understand, they don't have a lot of money, and when the propane for heat or cooking runs out, they drop the oven door and put anything that's combustible in the oven and light it for heat. Okay, and constantly they're burning down their four-room shanties, if you will. So they're constantly, it's a repetitious cycle. They're always in need of clothing, furniture, pots and pans, cooking, that we take for granted. We throw half of this stuff out into landfills. They desperately need it because they can be used for it. It's so logistical that, oh my God, you know, I didn't expect to be doing this right now today, and you caught me off guard.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing, and thank you.
It
for
tears
doing
me
it.
up. It
Yeah.
tears me up when I have to talk about it.
Well, this is what I'm here for. I'm trying to raise awareness for our indigenous communities. You know, I spent 3 months out at Standing Rock.
I was out there for 3 weeks and froze my ass off, and I cried as a 75-year-old man when I saw them hose down children with a water hose and water cannons. It was 25 below zero. There was no need for that. None. We didn't go there with weapons. If we had, there would have been a lot of dead bodies, but we didn't. We went there in peace. They treated us like animals, worse than animals. You know what? That's our illustrious government. That's what they think of us in reality. We're not human to them. We're subhuman.
So we're trying to, raise awareness. It's very moving for me to hear this from my brother right here. I'm so grateful that you spent time down there. And
I have to help them become acquainted to the world that I've had to live in. They're struggling to do that because, like I said, 120 years ago, they were still at war with the United States. They didn't see white people until the 1850s. My tribe had rifles before the Pilgrims landed in 1620. We got rifles from the Dutch, the Mohawks, So we're assimilated into the white world. We know what to take the good out of the white way of life and assimilate it into our way of life, because we still live our way of life. Roadkill on the road is more nutritious for you than any meat or food that you get out of the supermarket. It's not loaded with hormones and steroids and chemical additives. It's not natural. 25 years ago, there was no such thing as ADHD, attention deficit syndrome. You know why there is today? Because of the food that's being fed to us by Monsanto and ConAgra and 2 other international companies that want to control the food source in the world. Roadkill is more nutritious for you. And out there, all of that's a free supermarket. All you have to do is know how to prepare it. That's life-sustaining for free. God would not have put mankind on the face of the earth if it didn't provide for it.
Mother Earth provides liberally to all.
Absolutely.
Without discrimination.
Yes. It's free.
But yet we feel locked into buying these processed foods.
In the late 1880s, 1890s, when little meat stores became available and little grocery stores, and then came along Atlantic Pacific Tea Company, and they had supermarkets and First National supermarkets and Demola's supermarkets and everything. That's all modern technology that we didn't have 150 years ago. People used to go out and forage and hunt and fish and whatever it took to feed their families. They've lost that way because money buys everything in the supermarket. They make your life easy. But what you don't recognize is you're putting nasty stuff in your body that don't belong there, because they shoot up a cow with all kinds of chemicals and steroids to make it fat, so that when they weigh it to slaughter it, it weighs 15,000 pounds, and that's what we're going to pay you for the meat.
Right.
But it's chemicals and additives that don't belong in your body. It's all about money and greed.
Now,
we didn't have money. We chose wampum. It was okay. We bought it. We I'll give you 10 furs for 5 pieces of wampum. You know, the Mohawks used to call the truce and trade with their enemies, the Narragansett and the Wampanoag, out on Route 2 in Massachusetts, the Mohawk Trail. That's why it's named that.
Right.
And after we traded, we loved wampum. That was a form of trade for us, and they wanted our furs. So we traded with them, and then after about a mile apart from one another, we technically went back to war as enemies. So we called the truce the trade, commerce, if you will. And then once we went our separate ways, we were back at war with one another. We were natural enemies, but we learned how to get along with one another to trade. Yeah.
Well, you're a wealth of information.
I'm 75 years old, and I've lived a major portion of my life native. I've been self-employed. I very rarely have I worked for anybody. I always did it my way because I was headstrong. I still am.
So, is there a message that you want to send out to our youth that are out there right
Listen to your elders because they're not lying to you, and stop playing all day long with cell phones and modern technology. That will not save your life. Learning how to survive with Mother Nature as a part of your life, how to prepare meals from the wilderness that are there for the picking and it's free. The same thing with how to prepare and skin animals and what's usable. Native Americans choose to throw nuts. We didn't have dumps. We used everything. Everything had a purpose. Okay? We try to make decisions that are going to affect 7 generations in advance. We try to, but you know, I'm glad my life is in the final stages because where the world is going, I do not like, and it's not natural. All right, brother. I mean, God forbid, Creator, have mercy on us because this is not how it's supposed to be. Amen. Sign me off.
Okay, blessings, relatives. Thank you again, for spending time with me down here at the PowWow, and I'm going to keep you posted as I move on to my next.
I showed up.